Hello everybody and welcome to the 3.0.0 PTB patch notes for Dead by Daylight. In these patch notes we have the Ghostface release along with various perk balance changes. With the new chapter for Ghostface, it turns out that he's a standalone killer, so there is no survivor to accompany him. Ghostface, being a licensed DLC, will also mean that he is not free, which includes your iridescent shards, but will be available for purchase. First we'll cover the various balance changes, then we'll talk about Ghostface. So first, they'll be removing the exploit to fast vault while pressed up against a wall. There were players abusing this unintended feature of fast vaulting where players could approach at an angle towards a window while rubbing up against the wall and perform a fast vault when it should have translated into a medium vault. This will no longer be possible. Killer swings when attacking are all adjusted to match the distance that they can hit a survivor. They should all still be the same distance, but this will change how it looks to assure that it looks like the attack should have hit. People should effectively stop complaining about hitboxes not working now that the animations will line up properly. We may still see a few latency hits happen, but this will occur less frequently once dedicated servers hit. Survivor perk changes are in. Metal of Man will be nerfed to only stack its tokens on safe unhooks and protection hits, similar to We're Going to Live Forever. Metal of Man will activate even if you're at full health, and this should prevent survivors from having a free additional hit in any match, essentially just making it more difficult for it to work in the first place. Streetwise gains a buff, going up to 25% increased efficiency on items from 15%. Unbreakable's recovery speed increased to 35% from 25%. Windows of Opportunity had its cooldown reduced to 20 seconds from 40 seconds. A few killer perks are receiving a few changes as well. Enduring now has an increase in recovery speed, allowing you to recover from a pallet stun in 1 second, down from 1.14 seconds. It now only works with pallets specifically, which means flashlight stuns that save a survivor or decisive strikes are no longer reduced in time. Pop Goes the Weasel will now have a 25% regression to generators at all levels, but the difference between each level will now be the amount of activation time. It's currently at 30 seconds, but in this PTB it has been upped to 60 seconds, giving you that 60-second window to damage the generator and apply the effect. Finally, Territorial Imperative will have its cooldown reduced to 20 seconds from 30 seconds. Survivors get an adjustment to how they earn their emblems as well. Dull totems will now grant Lightbringer points to those who cleanse them. If you're in Chase and totems are cleansed, both Hex and Dull, you will be granted Lightbringer points. Gens being completed while you're also in Chase also grant you Lightbringer points. Sabotaging a hook in front of a killer carrying a survivor grants you Benevolence points, and stunning a killer grants Evader points. Now introducing the Ghostface. The Ghostface has a stalking power similar to Myers. Ghostface can activate the power for as long as it's fully charged. Once in this stance, Ghostface will have no terror radius, although he will let out a sound letting survivors know he has entered this stalking mode. In this mode, he can stalk survivors similar to Myers and increase their terror meter individually on a survivor. Once filled, they are exposed for a brief duration. Any survivor that has their camera look at the killer will cancel his stalking stance and return him to normal. He can crouch to help hide behind objects and keep his stance going, but once they peek at him, it's over. He can use his power while in the stance to peek around corners and walls. By doing so, he can stalk survivors without them being able to look back at him. They would have to go around the wall and peer at his body and have line of sight to him in order to cancel his power. There's actually a lot of warning that survivors get, as they can hear him pretty easily. There's a lot of sound cues that Ghostface gives off, from the strands on his clothing giving a weird whooshing effect, him heavy breathing, and even giggling. The health state of survivors will reveal who becomes exposed and when the effect ends. Overall, Ghostface's power is easily counterable, as it takes a simple glance in his direction to counter it out. It is cool he can crouch at will as well, but the noise for doing so is pretty loud, and the sound of leather rubbing against itself is very noticeable. The power is very situational, and you're not really too likely to even catch the survivor you expose unless they were oblivious to your location and you were extremely close to them, as 20 seconds is not enough to catch them if a single pallet is around. If they drop that one pallet, it's pretty much ruined your chances to catch them, as it can be looped long enough to cancel the effect of expose. In my opinion, the killer is extremely lacking in power and has ended up similar to Legion in the sense that his power is less helpful than we would expect. There's some fun memes you can try out, such as high-speed crouching with play with your food, which can let you travel quickly while crouched and end up in hilarious chase situations. Other than that, I don't believe the killer is going to provide anything meta-breaking in the upcoming chapter or serve as another powerful killer, but just another iconic killer to join the ranks of Dead by Daylight. That's about all I have here for you today, guys. I'll catch you in future updates. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, good game.